Hello, this is Luke Edwards. For chapter one, uh, I learned a lot about the cosmic beginnings, such as like the origin of the universe, and the origin of our solar system, as far as like the Hubble Space Telescope, the Big Bang model, stars, galaxies, and clusters, and as like the collapse of rotating interstellar cloud, a creation of foreign planets, and extraterrestrial ocean. So um, I found it interesting that other um, planets had oceans, had water, and stuff like that. So it in chapter one it talked about oceans on Jupiter's moons, Europa and Callisto. Um, like early planet Earth, separation of dense and lighter compounds through repeated melting and solidifying, which would be like layer system, ocean, and atmosphere. Um, then it also talks about like no free oxygen until photosynthetic organisms have evolved. Um, it also talked about like the age of the Earth and how history estimates how long Earth has been around. Um, I think it stated their radiometric dating to be around 4 to 4.6 billion years, which is wild. Um, it went on to talk about the geologic times, um, the natural time periods, which the year, 365 days. It even went on to say it's 0.25 days, um, which is the time required for the Earth to orbit, um, to complete the orbit around the sun, which happens to give us the seasons, the length of the seasons. I also talked about the lunar month and the solar days, which the lunar month is 29.5, and I want to say the solar day is around 24 hours, yeah. Um, Chapter 1 also talked about the gravity and how Earth is nearly, I can't say that word, spherical, and how it spins. Earth bulges at the equator. Um, you know, that's pretty much the things I said today are pretty much the things I found extremely interesting also. Um, I would like to also, for chapter one, I would like to learn more about if there's any cosmic things that can happen that can mess with I guess, the rotation of the Earth, other than like a meteor, or if anything can just uh, cause it to change. Um, Going on to chapter two, talked about like the Earth structure and the plate tectonics and things like that. Um, I always found that the tectonic plates. I found it interesting because uh, it had to do with something with earthquakes, and this chapter kind of touched upon that, and it revealed like the earth structures and the arrival times of seismic waves generated, which is generated by earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, and human-made explosions. Um, the speed. It also touched upon the speed and how it depends on the chemistry, density, and physical state. Um, Solid, partially molten, and molten. What else? Um, it also showed like the different layers um, of the earth and the mineral and the chemical compositions of the earth. Um, I also talked about the earth layers, as I just said. The different mineral and chemical composition, which would be like the crust, continental, oceanic, and mantle core. Um, it stated like the compositions within each one. I want to say the crust and continental, if I'm reading this right, is silicates rich in sodium, potassium, and aluminum, which I found interesting because um, I kind of want to. I guess I found it interesting because it's kind of too interesting because I want to know if we actually mine there, and that's how we get those things like potassium, aluminum, and sodium. I know they're found in other things, but um, I just also found that interesting. And that was a question too. Um, Another question I would have from both chapters would be, um, hmm, how are the layers? Um, how thick are each layers um, within the Earth? Yeah.